What's up, guys? Atilius here for another Pell session and a couple of tips on things you can do at the Pell to make you a better fighter. Before we get going, as always, it's always better to consult with your local kingdom, local shire, local barony, or wherever it is you go to practice. If there's any members of chivalry there, always consult with them. It's always better to train in person than it is over the internet. But for those of us who don't have a lot of access to those kinds of things, those kinds of people, this is for you. We're going to go over what's called the 1 through 6 drill, and what it's going to do is it's going to develop habits to transition from one shot to the next. Okay, and what it is essentially you're going to pretend, or you can on your Pell, mark at each shot progression. So for a leg shot, that would be 1. Onside body shot would be 2. Head shot would be 3. Okay. Offside head shot would be 4. Offside body would be 5. And offside leg would be 6. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to hit each one twice. Right? Or you're going to go from 1, okay, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 3, okay, and you're going to go 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, okay, and then you go to 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, and then 3, and then you just keep doing that until you get all the way to 6, 6, right? Like I said, what it does is it kind of trains you to transition from a leg shot to a head shot, or a leg shot to an offside leg shot, or a head shot to an offside leg shot, or there's countless things that you can do with this one. It does take a little bit to get used to and actually train. So I've been doing it for quite a while. It's one thing I do when I warm up. Sorry, it was a 24-hour shift yesterday, 20-hour shift yesterday at work. But anyway, which is also why I don't have my arm on, but I didn't want to slack too much. Plus my new helmet looks awesome. But again, back on track, this drill, I think it ends up being a total of like 75 different shots. So if you're doing the 100-day Pell challenge, this is a great one to get it warmed up. Or if you're in for a quick Pell session to get it done. So if you're also working on footwork, it's a good one to work on with your footwork, because you can literally transition over back and forth and get adjusted to moving with it. And it gives you a whole lot of different options to work with. So without that, that being said, I'm just going to go through it once, fairly quick, for you guys to see how it works. Okay, I will also announce where I'm going, so you guys can you guys can follow along. So, all right, so we start with 1. My 1 is a leg shot. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and then back 1, 5, and then back 1, 6. Okay, so that's one round of it, right? And then from there you go to number 2. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. Okay, and then you start over again, but this time with 3. 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. Okay? Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because now you're going to start with an offside shot, because we're on number 4. Right? 9 times out of 10, most fights start with onside flat snap. Okay, this is a good way to break up that monotony too. Starting with flat 4, 1, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6. Okay? And then go through it one more time, starting with number 5. 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. Okay? And for the last round, okay, you can 6, block 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit out of breath, so that's always good. Moving forward, there's a lot of different ways you could take this as well. You can, let's say you're having struggles maybe hitting that offside leg, okay? You don't have to do it always in order like that. That's just a good way to get warmed up, get the body moving, get your footworks in, you know what I mean? You could start with 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3. All right. That was shitty, but you get the point. You can also continue to do that. You can also work on your house and tent blocks with it. So between each shot, like if you start with 1, you can come into house, transition over to tent, go to 2 or 1, right? And then just go right into tent, right? And then when you switch over to the offside, come into house, right? Give yourself a little bit of timing. Also giving yourself, getting your hips in position to fire that next shot, right? It's just a really fundamental, good tool to use during your Pell sessions. It's one that I need to use more. I do use it a lot, but everybody could use it more because it really gets in that transition from a shot to the next shot, especially those shots that go long distances, that your sticks pathway, like from a leg shot to the opposite leg shot, because your stick has to travel from here, back, and then over. It kind of helps you speed that up, helps you learn where your stick's going from those shots, especially if you do it slow. You can kind of develop that flow from shot to shot, shot to shot, shot to shot to shot. So there's that. That's one that I like to use, especially on days when you're super tired and you just want to get your Pell session done and over with. Those are the ones I would recommend. This is the one I would recommend doing, because you do it once, you go through each number, 1 through 6, 2 through 6, 3 through 6, 4 through 6, 5 through 6. Or, you know what I mean. It's a good way to get that 100 shots in per day, and it does count. So, and it's a very fundamental tool in what's been helping me out. So, with that being said, if you have any questions, just reach out, ask me, practice it, play with it. Like I was saying before, it's good for footwork because you transition between shots as you step over, step back, okay? And, then when you reset, when you get done with the round, you can also practice your stick blocks for your head, right? Can help you fundamentally change that game, okay? Especially when you transition over to the offside and then back. So those are just a few of the small things that the 1 through 6 drill can do. Take your time with it at first because you can get lost in it really easy. I know I did quite a bit. I'd go like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and then forget where I was at. Just take your time with it. Go slow, nice and easy. made a post recently on social media that about we focus more on form and we focus more on being slow and consistent with our technique, we'd be a lot better fighters and have a lot less shoulder injuries. So take that into consideration and get after it, guys. So here we go. Good. Nice and easy. Another quick tip. If you hold your breath a lot when you're throwing shots, this will call you out on that. Hopefully you could hear me going, because I noticed myself holding my breath, getting through that. So make sure you're breathing in every shot. I like to breathe in 2 quick ones and 1 slow one. Especially between fights or when you guys are testing each other out before you get going. When you're back here in A range, away from your opponent, when you're scoping them out, seeing them, take some good breaths in, get ready to fight, and then every time you throw a shot, exhale. When you return, breathe in. Right? Really enunciate on it so you develop that muscle memory. With that being said, that's all we got for the day. I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer, see if I can get my mojo back from that long shift yesterday. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments or message me directly on Facebook, and hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. You know the drill. So I'm here when you need me. Thanks, guys. So I gave my Pell a shield, and I think this is going to be a definitive game changer to really finding those deep angles, because anything that hits the shield like that isn't going to count. For me anyway, and I noticed at the last practice I was at, that was happening quite a bit, or I'd come around and hit that side of the shield. Now, most of the fighters that practice don't fight with a big ass scutum like this one. However, we are, because it's what we got. And I think I have one of my main shots is that onside leg. So this will kind of make that habit go away. The next time I set my shield up, I need to put it on the offside flat snap, because I tend to go here a lot. So Pelling is all about self-discovery, so hopefully you guys are watching this and you can get something out of it. Pretty much all I'm going to be doing with the 1 through 6 drill, now that I'm warmed up, I'm going to be focusing on this shot, or the leg, dropping it in behind that shield from the wrap position way over here. Now this is one of those long shots that we were talking about in the 1 through 6 drill, because you're literally coming from behind, coming around, and then dropping it in. I know there's probably a better way to throw that shot from a wrap into a house, into the outside leg. But you know, that's why we're here. That's why we do the Pell, is to learn that. So again, essentially we're going to be coming from flat snap, wrap, and dropping it into either the armpit or that deep side leg. Things that I'm trying to avoid is hitting the edge of that shield. So, right? Like that. So one little thing I just barely noticed is when I threw this and then threw that, there was very little hip motion in that first shot. However, watch what happens when I twist my hips. It gets around, so around the shield and into that socket. So hip, woo. Focusing on that hip twist and turn, not only does it generate power, it also helps with finding that angle, right? Your technique has to be perfect every time. That's why we go slow. That's why I can't express enough to pay attention when you're pelling, right? So again, no hip movement, right? Very little. Right, now I know that if I bring that out a little bit further, it's going to drive that in. However, the further away your hand is away from your body, the less power you're going to generate. So if you keep that hip cocked and twist into it, you're going to find that angle. Self-discovery, my friends. And that's probably all we're going to do for today. Between the 1 through 6 drill and a little bit between videos, I think we got enough in. It's a good starting point, and I think this is going to be a good video for you guys to watch. So it's always awesome when pelling and stuff starts to click. And I hope that you guys experience that yourselves one day, because it is a fundamental game changer. Something as little as making sure your technique is good and your hips are dropping you're dropping that shot into where it needs to be. So, as always, thanks guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and let me know what you think.